being a photographer as an actual career?
It was a journey which was slow but graceful.
What is the inspiration that still keeps you driven towards photography?
Well, I think it's my bride and grooms.
What is that one element that you always look when you go around for wedding photography?
You cannot expect at a wedding for the eighth fera to take place. That you have to capture that special moment in a very creative manner to be able to showcase it in your films.
What I feel is that is also a very crucial part of photography.
There is hardly any excess time that the couple or the families have.
That one advice that you would want to give to all of us, to everybody who loves photography.
It will land at your feet the moment you have passion and dedication in your lives.
And how would you have responded to it?
Is wedding photography compared to other genres of photography?
And here is how we learned how emotions are very much connected to the photography.
It's all about emotions.
Hello everyone, welcome to LPU. I am Tarmika, your host, and today we have a very well-renowned wedding photographer and filmmaker, Mr. Parikshit Suri sir with us. So welcome to lovely Professional University and to LPU.
Thank you for having me over. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much, sir. So while going inside into your journey and getting to know your journey of being a photographer, the first question that comes up to my mind is, what is one thing that actually took time for you? It took time for you to adjust into the environment of being a photographer as an actual career.
Well, I don't think it took time in that sense. It was a gradual dive into a deep ocean of the unknown. Well, way back in 1994-95, a wedding photographer was a very different breed. The only things that really worked was, as parents, if you become a lawyer, you become a doctor, you become an engineer. Wedding photographer was not something that a lot of people were really keen on in terms of photography especially. When I took that leap, when I took that dive, I think my parents were more than supportive. They pushed me towards it. My dad was also a photographer for the longest period. I think from there on it was a journey which was slow but graceful. Enjoyed it thoroughly, and it's been a brilliant ride with a learning experience. At that time, as I was mentioning, the wedding photography was not a genre that a lot of people wanted to get into, and when I got into it, I think a lot of eyebrows probably turned. A lot of people probably wouldn't have expected me to get into the kind of business that I was into. But I found this space to have the kind of positive energy that I always wanted. It had positivity, it had emotions, it had fun, it had people whom I'd like to be around with, and that's what carried me through all these years. I think it's the energy and the positivity from all these lovely grooms and brides that have actually got me through my life, and I thank them for it.
Well, it's been around 2 decades that you have been into photography, I guess.
It's
yes.
been about 28 years, 26 to 28 years. Almost.
That's amazing to hear. When I hear 28 years, so one question that always pops up in my mind is, what is the inspiration that still keeps you driven towards photography and keeps your day going?
Well, I think it's my bride and grooms. They are my source of inspiration. They are my source of energy. I see them in their youth so in love with each other, so much for each other. They've got all that love in them, which actually has such a positive aura that it actually gives me the energy to be with them and to make sure that we get all their moments that we can for them.
Okay. And when you go for a wedding photography or any sort of photography, what is one thing that you always look like for an element? For all the aspiring photographers, I would like to ask you, what is that one element that you always look when you go around for wedding photography?
So the one element that I wouldn't say it's one element. I would actually go to the extent of saying that there are a million elements that happen at any wedding because it's an event which is never going to repeat itself. You cannot expect at a wedding for the 8th Fera to take place or for another Mangal Sutra to take place. You cannot repeat that moment again. It's in that minute, it's in that second, it's in that moment that you have to capture that special moment in a very creative manner to be able to showcase it in your films. And that's the candid part of it. When you look at the planned part of it, which is a very, very big part of weddings today, there are a lot of moments that are actually planned out as well. Like any film that we make, any feature film, where there's a lot of planning that goes behind it. Even weddings today, we have a lot of plans that we sit and make a plan with the couple or with the families. These are the kind of shots that we'd like to do. And we do take time out, they do take time out to create these moments which we use in our films. And I think that's the new generation films that we're creating, because everyone wants to see a lovely moment of their wedding in a very short gist. No one has the attention span to see a 3-hour film, especially a wedding one. So everybody wants to see a nice short one, a minute, a 2-minute, a 3-minute, a 5-minute film, which will encapsulate the best moments, the best shots put together with some nice lovely audio at the back to make a nice lovely film. As we know, a film is all about an audio-visual experience. So blending in the right audio with the right shots, with the right moments to create the emotions or the fun is very, very crucial in delivering, when you deliver a nice lovely film to the couple. And I think that's why we've been at it, and we've been so fortunate to be able to create such lovely memories for our couples.
When you talked about the blended things that you do, and you sit around with bride and grooms and their family members and discuss things, well, what I feel is that is also a very crucial part of photography.
You're right, that is so important. It is so important because, as we know, the Indian weddings, there is hardly any excess time that the couple or the families have. With a guest list of 250 or 500 or 1,000 people that they have at these weddings, there's hardly any time for them to do these planned shots. So they have to be planned out well, they have to be executed quick, so that time is of essence at any wedding. And, just to get it right, it has to be done in a way where you can actually use it in the film.
Okay. Coming up to this, then, what is that one advice that you would want to give to all of us, to everybody who loves photography?
So, I think most importantly is a lot of people have the passion. A lot of people have passion for a certain subject in their life or a certain thing that they want to do in their lives. But having passion alone is of no consequence without having the dedication and devotion to be able to get to your goal and your dreams. So have a lot of passion, but along with it, put in the dedication, put in the hard work. Do not chase money, because the moment you start chasing money, money will start running away from you. Chase your passion, chase your dreams, money will follow you automatically. It will land at your feet the moment you have passion and dedication in your life.
That advice is very valuable, and it's gonna be with me till I die, maybe. So coming up to a very interesting question that I've always been very interested to ask you is, what is that one question that you expected me to ask in this interview and I did not, and how would you have responded to it?
One question that you should have asked me. I think you could have asked me as to how difficult is wedding photography compared to other genres of photography. And the response to that is, I think wedding photography probably is one of the most difficult genres of photography. Wedding filming or photography for that matter, because what happens is that a wedding, it's a very uncontrolled environment. It's a very quick environment. It's an environment where you have zero control on the situation. And to try and get the best out of it, to try and get the best moments, you have to be absolutely focused for a long period of time in the day. Generally, a wedding for 3 days takes up approximately 16 to 18 hours per day of you being at that point, at that focused position. So a lot of hard work to get the right shots in those 3 days. And no other genre makes you struggle or strive so hard. Everything generally else is, every other genre probably is more planned and executed, except for naturally sports photography or wildlife photography. But that too requires a lot of time and patience and dedication to get those right shots. But and you cannot create those moments again. You cannot ask the tiger to growl again. You can't ask that car not to topple over and spin again. So these are certain genres where you need to be more dedicated and look through your lens all the time to make sure you get the right moment. So wedding photography is that way. You have to be looking through your lens to capture that one little expression, that little one smile, that one laugh, that one tear falling down from the eyes. You have to be focused.
And here is how we learned how emotions are very much connected to the photography.
It's all about emotions. It's all about emotions. That is what is the backbone of wedding photography. Like you see any Karan Johar film and you love it, the reason is probably there's so much emotions. There's so much love, laughter, and then suddenly there is the emotional side which actually kind of puts the tear in your eye. So it's got the wave format, and that's what I love about films. It's got the highs and the lows, and that's what we try to create in our films as well.
Well, with this, we come to an end of this podcast, and it was a great pleasure meeting you and hearing all those very, very helpful advices. It's gonna stay with all of us forever. Thank you so much for being here, sir.
Thank you for having me over. Pleasure was all mine. Thank you.